Hey everybody, it's Brian from the VIP Soundcheck, and I'm honored to have my friend Katie Slater here today. And Katie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Brian.
Absolutely. And we should let everybody know, I mean, you are a music journalist and professional photographer. And so you've been around music and going to shows your whole life, as we were talking about before. So what kind of got you into music as a whole?
So I have older siblings, and three of them, two brothers and a sister. And so music has been my lifeline. Like they blasted it in the cars. Like they had me listening to Delirious, DC Talk, Newsboys, all the greats. And so I love that. But I became passionate when I was about 13 years old. Yeah, I was 13 when I went to my first show. Um, it's a whole different atmosphere, as you well know.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know. It was just something about it called to me. The words that they were singing on stage, and the people around me who were like, we all became family in that setting. Like it was a very huge shift for me. Like I felt alone at that time as a teenager. Teenagers feel alone. And there's just something about the crowd and how they gathered around each other, and we're all there for the specific purpose of listening to this music. And yeah, I've loved music ever since. So
Nice. And I mean, I thought I went to a lot of shows. I swear, like every Christian concert and festival I go to, you're there. And that's where I've seen you for years. We became friends. I mean, you go all over the place for shows. Now, you're in Virginia, but how far have you gone for a show?
so driving wise, I think I've personally driven about 9-ish hours. I think Indiana would be the furthest I've driven away. I've ridden in cars with people and stuff, but I think that's the most I've driven. And then I've also flown in an airplane. All the way to Germany would be the furthest I've been for a show. That's Loud and Proud. Plug for Loud and Proud. They're amazing. But yeah, I've been all over, usually East Coast because that's where I live. But yeah.
That's awesome. Now, how different was it going to Germany and attending a festival than, say, like Kingdom Come Festival, like you mentioned in Indiana?
Yes. I mean, they're both they're different in the aspect of Germany has different culture. I would definitely say the crowd in Germany goes harder than America by far.
They got the mosh
They,
pits going, and
they have mosh pits going. The craziest thing they do is they'll have concerts until like 1 a.m.
oh
And
wow,
like after 1 a.m. Disciple this year, like they have 3 encores for them.
wow.
Yeah, they kept on like chanting their name and like, come back, come back. So that definitely is the different aspect of it. However, both Loud and Proud and Kingdom Come Festival, I would say, has a very family aspect.
Mhm.
Especially Kingdom Come Festival, like they were the first festival outside of Winter Jam to give me a media pass. And like everyone who works there like treated me like I was family, and like you know I was doing something important. And yeah, I don't know, they have a special place in my heart. But Loud and Proud is a very close second for sure.
Nice. Yeah, and I agree 100% about Kingdom Come. I think I've been there the last 4 years, and that's the thing I love about it. Just like you said, it's Chris Blossom, everybody that runs it, and then all the artists. It's like a family reunion every summer.
Absolutely, for sure. This year I wasn't originally going because of work, and I was crazy, and I drove through the night Friday night so I could attend the last day.
I
And I
remember you were pretty
surprised
exhausted when you came walking up.
I was beyond exhausted. I got maybe 1 hour sleep on the road. Like I took a break at a gas station and like tried to sleep, and I just didn't sleep very well. But it was worth it for sure, seeing all the looks on their faces. And I have a video of Angie, who's one of the people who runs it. she was like, Katie, and she ran around the stage to come give me a hug, and I got that on video. But that's just one of all the reactions I got, and it brought it home, like how much they missed me and wanted me there. And yeah, so for sure, I love those guys.
Absolutely. I don't think I've ever felt more the body of Christ than I do there, where it's
Absolutely.
like we are really a family.
I agree, for sure.
Now, you had mentioned getting the media pass, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that because, I've noticed and I've seen a lot of your pictures. You do an amazing job.
Thank you.
Did you take classes or schooling for that, or was it something that you just developed your own passion for?
Yeah, so both. Mainly, I just taught myself. About halfway through teaching myself, I started college, and I did get one class in photography that helped me a lot with learning like the manual settings. Because before I was shooting on auto, which, photographers are like, you can't do that, which, now I see why, but you can still be a photographer and shoot on an auto, just so anyone who wants to get into it knows. But yeah, so I learned manual settings at college, and the rest of it I just taught myself. And well, that's not true. Chad Fenner and Jeanette Yoder both have been immensely helpful, especially Chad, because I always feel like I'm bothering him, but he's always telling me, no, you're fine, you're fine. But I message him once every couple weeks about something, it feels like. He helped me recently. So there's a band called Chaotic Resemblance, which I think you know about.
Yep.
Yeah. And they go so hard. They're like so many hair flips, so they are jumping around stage. And I'm like, I love these guys. They're amazing in live. They're the best, but it's hard to capture on in camera. So I was like, Chad, what do you do? Because he takes the best photos ever. He's like who I look up to, and he's always great. So I asked him, what settings do you have? And he'd let me know. And I'm like, cool. And it turned out so much better when I used his settings. So yeah, I have done a lot of self-taught, but I also have had a lot of help from people too, for sure.
Awesome. And yeah, like a week ago or so when we saw Chaotic Resemblance and Transfer PA, I thought Logan was going to break his neck at how heavy he swings his head.
Yeah, he was especially one of the most difficult ones for me, for sure.
Just a blur.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, do you have a particular type of camera, or I mean, I know everybody, like, your equipment is specific to you. Do you have something that really speaks to you with that?
Yeah. So I didn't know the technical stuff, so this is one of the questions I asked Chad and some of my other photographer friends. So a couple of them recommended the Canon 5D Mark IV as like in between, because cameras range and they get so super expensive. So for what I was able to afford, it's a really good camera. It helps a lot. It's much better. I don't even remember what I had before. Again, I'm not great with the technical stuff, but it is really good camera. I like it a lot. Don't ask me what type of lens I have. I'm doing a photographer. No, I should know this stuff. It's like a 2070. Okay. I don't know. Anyways,
If it works, that's the important part.
Yeah, I have two lenses. They're both great lenses. Chad and everyone will let you know the lenses are the more important thing than the actual base camera, because, depending on what type of photography you get into, like if you're going to be at a festival and you're not up front and you're all the way in the back, obviously a smaller lens is not going to work out very well.
Sure.
So 27 to 70, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I love my camera. I love my gear. I definitely want to have more. I'm saving up for. It's definitely gets expensive, but Chad has a fisheye lens, and it like makes it so you see like the whole it shows more of the subject.
Nice.
And it does a really cool effect. And that's what I really want to get. I've been saying that for like 5 years now, though. So hopefully I can get that.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, when did you actually start getting into photography? I mean, when I know you've been going to shows for years, was it right at the start of that, or did that develop as you went along?
Yeah. So my mom, I mean, she's not a professional, but she has taken photos. She's obsessed with taking photos too. So I kind of picked up on that, but I started originally taking photos with my like flip phone as like a 11, 12-year-old. And then I got a power shot camera, which has no removable lens. It's just a really tiny camera, when I was 13. So the same year I went to my first concert is the same year I got my first camera. And it became my outlet because I'm not great at speaking, and I did not do very well with interacting with people my age. I still don't. So I used the camera as a way to express myself and to be in the group without interacting with the group.
Okay.
And so I would take it to like holidays, like Christmas time, and I would take it to camps, and I would take it to youth group. I'm sure if I had kept in touch with all my youth group friends, they would like, yeah, she, instead of playing the game, she would take pictures of us playing the games. So that was my way of joining in without joining in, pretty much.
Sure.
And when I went to my first concert and started taking photos and stuff, that was another way like to look back on it and see, oh, look how cool this was. And then I want to say about 2017, I think, was the first year I went to City Rock Fest tour. When I went to the City Rock Fest tour in 2017, I started taking pictures, and they were really bad pictures, let me tell you. But people like Blaze from Seventh Day Slumber, and a few others, I can't remember who else, but a few others shared those photos to their personal pages. Which to this day I can't believe they did that because they were really bad. But that was like, wow, that is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, teenager me thought it was amazing, which it is amazing, but I was like geeking out at the time. And
that feeling doesn't go away no matter how old you are.
I'm so over it. No, I'm not really. But yeah, so I saw that, I was like, I should take this more seriously and try harder to do this. So I kept taking pictures, upgraded from my tiny power shot to a bigger power shot. Still not a great camera, but it was a better camera. Yeah, I took my class in 2018 for photography, learned better how to do things better. And that's when I was like, I need to upgrade to a more professional camera. And then in 2020, I believe, is when I did so. Saved up the money to do so in 2020. And of course, that's when everything happened.
Then
COVID.
You couldn't use it.
Yeah. I did use it with certain festivals, Kingdom Come Festival. But for the most part, yeah, there was like nothing, of course. So then 2021, I think there was more, I think. It's hard for me to remember.
All that time just kind of blends together.
I was about to say, COVID, that whole time frame is like a blur. Like, did it really happen or was it a dream?
Exactly.
But yeah, so around 2021-ish is when, you know, things were getting better and we had more festivals. And yeah, I just have been using it, and it's become my life. Like, it's a part of me. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Sure. And you had mentioned that, you know, that allowed you to be part of a group. Now, getting to be doing those pictures and getting to hang out with a lot of artists, has that given you confidence? Because now, I mean, you're doing a great job talking now, so I can I could tell that you've grown. Has that helped you with that process?
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. I do still for sure feel out of my element. But I also have seen a lot of progress for sure. Like, I want to say 2017, 2018, I would never have agreed to do this. Yeah, so a lot of the artists have been so helpful to me. There's so many that I can't even name all of them. I don't want to leave anyone out, but I also want to say some of them. So like Behold the Beloved, which we'll talk about more in a minute. They definitely helped me. Trevor Tyson, who is now with Heal the Hurt. He used to be behind the scenes. Well, he still is. He does some behind the scenes still, but he was also a major part of that, who like encouraged me and pushed me. He pushed me past many boundaries. Like, you can do this. The Protest, Disciple, so many bands have been part of pushing me to be more, to see myself more than I have. Like, there's so many things I thought I could never do, and I've done, and it's really amazing. And it's also amazing how God has placed those people in my life.
Absolutely.
God definitely opened these doors for me. I did not do this on my own. There's no way I could have done this on my own. So God put these people in these places for me. And he has encouraged me and helped me to push past those negative thoughts in my head, for sure.
Nice. That's awesome. And I know exactly what you mean. And that's one of the things. I think you're probably one of the only people that could understand what I'm about to say, is that, you've been able to build friendships with some of your favorite artists, and I have as well. And it's not oh, hey, I did something amazing. It's simply a blessing from God. And I wake up every day, I'm like, I can't believe I get to do these things.
Absolutely.
And you're experiencing the exact same thing. It's like, we can't really explain to somebody what that feels like.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed 100% on that.
Now, you mentioned Behold the Beloved, and those guys are awesome. I mean, just like you, I've become good friends with them, and that's who we saw a couple weeks ago. And, the guys, Kelly, of course, who's Sean's wife, kind of go into a little bit of how they specifically have helped you and what they mean to you.
So honestly, I've asked them this question recently, and I cannot remember when I first met them. I do know that Sean did ask me a few years ago, hey, do you want to come out for a show? He thought I lived in Pennsylvania because of how much I go to Pennsylvania. So at the time, I was like, not at this moment, but I would love to see you soon. So I do remember that message, but I don't remember when we first hung out or anything. But they have been for many, many years, at least before COVID. I know that for sure. So probably 2019, 2018, something like that. They have been in my corner and pushing me. Another, like Trevor, both Sean and Kelly have been pushing me out of my comfort zone so I can, be where I need to be, because God does not want us to stay in our comfort zones. He wants us to walk on, water, and to take that dive, take that step into the unknown and stuff. So they are really great at doing that with me, and telling me, how, like, they love my photos and they love, my heart behind what I do and all that. And it's like, sometimes it makes me cry how much they believe in me. With all that said, I have really been thankful, and like, God has definitely placed them in my life specifically. I don't know, between them and a couple other bands, there was a time that I almost quit. And they were one of the bands that pushed me to keep going and saying that, this is where you're meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
And, they helped stop the voices in my head for sure. Telling me that, there's so many other people that are better than me, and, people don't need me, and all these voices. And they help me remind myself that it's not about who's better. You know, you are you. God made you specifically. In fact, Kevin of Disciple actually recently did this message about this very topic, that you were placed in this time period for a reason, in this age for a reason, in this country for a reason. And, you know, it's not about who was better than you. It's about you doing what God called you to do.
Yep.
And Sean and Kelly and everyone else in Behold the Beloved are great at telling me that. So
that's awesome. I love hearing that. I agree. It's like, you know, Satan always tries to attack you and say you're not good enough, and you know, you're a nobody, who you can't do this. And it's like he's doing that because he knows that this is exactly what the Holy Spirit, the gift that he's given you, and he's terrified of that.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
And that's where it's awesome when, like you said, God brings people who, particularly these artists, who know exactly what you're going through. Who are like, you got this, and it just gives you that strength.
Absolutely.
That is fantastic. I wanted to talk a little bit about some opportunities that have come up for you recently, and I know that you've got your own company, Katie's Media, and I know that you've written for Jesus Wired, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so in addition to photographs, you also write articles for them.
Yep.
Nice. When did you start doing that?
Funny enough, in 2020 when COVID hit.
So you turned a bad into a good.
Yeah. There was obviously a lot of bad stuff going on then, including in my life. But one of the best things was Ian reaching out to me, because I made a post about, you know, if any bands or anyone in the music industry needs help in this time period, because we know that they couldn't tour, and, you know, that's how they get their money and all that. So I was like, a general post about, if anyone needs help, let me know. And Ian, who is now the owner of Jesus Wired, at the time he was the editor, but now he's the owner of Jesus Wired. And he wrote on that post like, hey, you can come work for us. I was like, of course, you know, I would love to do that. So yeah, I've been working with him and some other people at Jesus Wired since 2020, and I've really appreciated all the connections I've made through it, and all the people who have reached out to me because of what I do with them, and it's opened a lot of doors for sure.
Very cool. And there's been an exciting announcement just today. So
There
you
has
have
been.
actually joined Eternal Echoes. So kind of let the cat out of the bag. Tell everybody what's happening with that.
I am so excited about this. I've been wanting to talk about this for a couple months now. So thank you, Sean, for doing this today so I can talk about it.
We appreciate it.
Yes. So Sean and Kelly of Behold the Beloved. Kelly is the wife of Sean, the lead singer, and she's also their tour manager, or not their tour, their band manager. And they started a label that is meant to like help people in the industry reach another level. They're like making connections for them. They're helping book them, all that stuff. And it's so cool that they have me signed on as the first person to be part of the label. As I said earlier, they have been in my corner. They have been pushing me. And this is just another way that they are doing that, so that I can make it be more of it's in my portfolio, my professional portfolio. And so I can one day hopefully make this into like my actual living. Because this entire time has just been me volunteering. They are the first band that has paid me and who has taken me under their wing as like actual working photographer. And I really appreciate them for doing that and for making me part of their label. So I'm so excited for that.
That is fantastic. Congratulations. I'm pumped for you.
Thank
That's
you
huge.
so much.
Absolutely. Praise God for that.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And thank you, Sean, for putting it out today so we could talk about it.
Love you.
So, what's next for you? I mean, I know that's kind of a loaded question. I mean, it's all these big things happening, but what are what I would say is like your short-term goals for the next couple of years?
Oh goodness. Let's see. So I obviously want to. My main goal is to one day be a tour photographer for a band full time.
Okay.
So that I go with them on tour all year round or whenever they're doing tours. And so that's my main goal. I also, on top of that, would love to be their social media manager. So that is something I also would love to do dual, be a photographer, and then like after the show ends, like edit photos and then post them to their socials, update fans about tour schedules and whatever's going on with them. So that's my dream, to be the tour photographer and social media manager. So in the long term, within the next year or two, I'm hoping to get more under my belt, those type of situations where I'm not just a fan in the audience, but I'm like on stage, which has been happening recently, where I've been allowed to be on stages and be in a more professional capacity. And so if any band is out there wanting me to tour with them, I am totally open for that.
Now, do you have anywhere, like any contact information that we can share if bands are looking for somebody?
Absolutely. So my Instagrams are official Katie's Media, and same with Facebook. So message me on there. You can find me on their booking at eeartistbooking@gmail.com. So again, it's eeartistbooking@gmail.com.
Nice.
So yeah, now I'm with them. It can go through them now.
Perfect. And I'll be sure to put all that in the body so you guys can see that easily to get a hold of her.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. So, and we had talked a little bit before we started. So you've been literally around the world. You've taken pictures of some of the biggest bands, some of the best bands out there. Is there anybody that you haven't had the chance to take a shoot yet that you'd love to?
Absolutely. So for Christian wise, I would love to hopefully one day shoot a TFK concert. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Trevor, does his thing sometimes, but it's been a while since they've been together. So I'm hoping one day they will come back and I can do that. Also, who else? And for non-Christian, I have been wanting to photograph Evanescence.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love Evanescence for sure. There is also a newer artist, and his name is Caleb Hiles.
Okay.
He kind of does. He's not really a Christian, but he is Christian. He's on this amazing record company, which is Judge and Jury Records.
Okay.
And that record company is owned by Howard Benson, who has produced stuff for Skillet and other top name brands. And I think it's also co-owned by Neil with 3 Days Grace. So Caleb started out as a YouTuber, and he's now with them. And he's done stuff with like Lacey Sturm, Manifest, TFK, like Trevor from TFK, all these people. I would love to photograph him one day. That'd be so cool. I think he's a great artist. I am going to soon, so this will be amazing. But Heal the Hurt, new band this year, Trevor. He is amazing, and I got to photograph him by himself in Germany. But it'll be amazing to photograph the band because they're going on tour with The Protest soon, so that will be great.
Very cool. So Caleb or Amy Lee, if you get the chance to see this, there you go. She's ready.
I would be amazing. Like, that would be mind blown.
I actually just saw Evanescence just a couple weeks ago up in Canada.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was. So I went up because I'm a huge fan of The Warning, and The Warning was opening up for Evanescence,
Oh,
and it was
that was
incredible.
amazing.
It was
I'm
awesome.
jealous.
It was awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
No,
cool.
but I'm really excited to see what doors God's gonna open for you. I mean, no doubt this is just the beginning, without a doubt.
I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. And before we go, is there anything else you'd like to say to viewers?
I would definitely like to say that ignore the voices in your head that are telling you that you can't do it, that you're never going to measure up, that, people are not going to care about what you're doing. Whatever God has placed on your heart to pursue it. You don't realize what God can do through you. And yeah, just go for it.
I agree. I can do all things through Christ, and if He gives you that desire, there's a reason for it.
Absolutely.
And just like you said earlier, take that step of faith. It's a little scary, but He always promised to lead us through. So and every single time, and I'm sure you know this as well or better than I do. Every time you look back when you take that step, it was well beyond what you could have expected.
Absolutely, for sure.
Very cool. Well, Katie, thank you so much. This really was a blessing and a pleasure talking with you today.
I appreciate you having me on here.
Absolutely. So again, I want to thank you for your time. And as always, I want to thank you guys for spending this time with us. We love you all. God bless and rock on.